Today we are riding section 1 of the new Oregon BDR.
The screws for my headlight that hold my headlight in are both gone. It's called Lily Lake. Look at all the lily pads. I wonder why they call it that. Oh, look at that. Cool. History. Tiny bit of exposure. I keep turning the camera off, but it's something cool. We're at Dismal Swamp. I do not like the look of this one. Very muddy. So it's worth talking about why we're on a new Oregon BDR Section 1. This is a cool part of Oregon that even locals don't really see. There's a lot of just like misinformation out there. I just can't seem to put my finger on it, why this is Lake County. I don't know. Oh, shit. That's a lot deeper than I thought. Oh, shit.
Hello friends, we are at Goose Lake State Recreation Area. That behind me is literally California. This is the state line, and today we are riding section 1 of the new Oregon BDR. I know a lot of people are curious about what it looks like. I certainly am. I feel like in a normal year I wouldn't be able to ride it this early, but since we've had no snow, might as well take advantage. So this is the unofficial jumping off point. I think technically it starts a couple miles down the road, but I think most people will probably camp here to start. There is another campground a little farther up the route that I'm going to show you that's a little bit more isolated, but this is a state park. It's got RV hookups, it's got all kinds of stuff. So we'll ride through here. My goal today is to kind of just show you the route because I know people are going to be curious. We've seen the northern part of the Oregon BDR, but the first 2.5 sections are all new. So let's ride section 1 today so you have some idea what you're getting yourself into if you come and do the new Oregon BDR. Also, huge thanks to the BDR for updating the route. We'll talk about that as we go, but kudos to them for doing that.
I also want to say thanks to Quadlock for sponsoring today's adventure and invite you to play Follow the Bouncing Phone as we ride along on what is supposed to be not a super technical section 1. The first and last sections of the BDRs tend to be more connecting routes in general, at least in my experience. So they tend to be just kind of like whatever forest roads they could find, but they're rarely the highlight. So according to Nathan, who I have asked 3,000 questions of, thank you Nathan, the first section's not super difficult, so hopefully we can blaze right through today and get a good sense of what it looks like. I'm on the 390. This is the graduation ride for the 390 because I'll be at 1,000 miles by the time I'm done with today and tomorrow. Look out for that review coming soon. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. And I have to say, I haven't run the Tusk excursion stuff as much as I probably should have because I've just had different luggage to test out, but these are about perfect for a day ride, particularly like today where I'm on my own, really far from home. So I've got a full toolkit. I have a tire changing kit. I have my winch. I have my first aid kit. Now, is it big enough to go moto camping? I don't think so, the way that I moto camp, but you might be able to get away with it with a dry bag on top. That's up to you. But they're great for a day ride. Pretty versatile, not expensive. All right, let's check out the state park and then we'll head on to the route. So camping over here. I've never been here before. So there is an RV dump. There's a hiking trail that goes around this. Apparently there's a herd of deer that just comes through. I did a little research. And you're right on Goose Lake, which is not a lake most of the year, but it is right now because it's springtime. This is a very pretty little state park. I was shocked at the amount of shade, to be honest. Let's see what the rates are. If you're out of state, it's $38 for a water electric site, $28 for a tent site. If you live here in Oregon, $30 for a hookup site, $22 for a tent site. Yeah, okay, $22 for a tent site, not bad to start the route. Yeah, okay, that's a tent site, not bad. That's a tent site. Am I going fast? I'm going 15 miles an hour. Is it 5? I don't even know if I can go 5. I'm afraid I'll fall over. All right, well, apparently the park hosts do pay attention. They have showers, that's good. Literally, there's no one camping here, and they're uptight about me going 5 miles an hour. Wow, okay. Well, they are dedicated and bored, obviously. Anyway, that's that. Worth mentioning that this is the end of the NorCal BDR. What are we doing, puppy? It's a velvet hippo in the middle of the road. No, buddy. You get out of the road, pal. Right back there is the sign where you end the NorCal BDR. They've removed my sticker, so allegedly I put a sticker on there when I finished it. Allegedly. This little town has a name and I already forgot what it is. But literally, I think we're riding part of the end of NorCal. That's because I don't think you could get dirt any other way because it just goes 395 straight to Lakeview. But this is the route. Cool, be a neat little blast from the past. I did enjoy the last section. I was just so damn tired. Yeah, I should say my whole thing about the last section's not being good. NorCal, the last section was actually really good. It was a highlight, so it's not always true, I guess. We're going through Dismal Swamp, which I saw the sign for when we did NorCal. Cracked me up, so it'll be fun to see Dismal Swamp today. Oh, you'll never guess what I discovered on my way down here. The screws for my headlight that hold my headlight in are both gone. And at first I was like, well, I must have forgot to put them back in when I did the install on the tablet, but I didn't take them out because I remember having trouble running that cable. I have it on video because I was trying to squeeze it down in there, and it would have been a lot easier if I'd taken those bolts out. So at some point, either Brian didn't tighten them up when he did the lights and turn signals, or they just worked themselves loose, but they're both gone. I stopped and bought a bolt kit for KTM's and Sisters, and none of them fit. So we're just gonna have a rattly headlight on this trip, and I'll fix it when I get home. I'll order some from Rocky Mountain. Sells OEM parts now. Did you know that? Or I guess they always have, but it's pretty easy to find them, so I should be able to just order those screws from them. But I don't know if that's a weak point on these or if something we screwed up, but just FYI, my headlight is just bouncing like crazy now. This section had a shitload of water crossings on it. It was farther back though. I don't think we're probably gonna hit them. But that was really cool. That's why it was a highlight of NorCal. Oh, cool house. Holy shit. That's really cool. Look at that. Rock. Neat. Someone will ask. I'm using DMD2. Still, I haven't like reviewed it or anything, but I've been trying to use it as much as possible to get a sense for it. And this is the Adventure Tech Pro tablet, which I'll link for you if you want to check it out. It works great. Really easy to see. Super rugged. Kind of expensive, but it's an awesome piece of kit so far. I'm pretty happy with it. Cave Lake Campground is 1 mile that way, but I just spotted this little offshoot. Road down doesn't look too bad. It's been, it's rutted, but it's dry now. I wonder if you can camp by this lake, although I bet the mosquitoes are nuts. But let's check it out. I know it has a name. I don't see it on the map, but it definitely has one. Why did I decide to go in the rut? I had so many options. Okay, this is Lily Lake. You can't camp here. Okay, good to know. Day reuse, Lily Lake. Holy shit, that's cool though. Wow, neato, mosquito. Got a little boat ramp if you want to paddleboard it. Okay, yeah, the scenery out here is good. I like it. Gotta get a picture here, I think. Look at that. Oh, and there's a picnic table across the lake, so is that for paddleboarding over to? That's neat. There is a road, so maybe you can get to it with a car, but it's called Lily Lake. Look at all the lily pads. I wonder why they call it that. What are we, 6 miles in? Pretty cool. Nice place to stop and have lunch. I suspect if many of you are like me, you'll probably prefer a more secluded campground, and this is Cave Lake. I almost came up here and camped last night, but I've got the truck and the camper, and this road would have sucked. It would have been doable, but it would have been slow, and I would have shaken everything off the shelves. But I'm 7 miles into the route, up in the mountains, very secluded. Looks like there's a vault toilet. So if you want to disperse camp, or if you want to camp, wild camp in a cool place, this might be the one. Cave Lake. Yeah, this is excellent, actually. Oh, look at that! Look at that! 2 of them. Eagles? I think they are. Yeah, that's an eagle. Might be a bald eagle, just the female. That's Cave Lake. I see fish jumping in both of these lakes. Not a bad spot to spend the night. Holy hell, look. They are bald eagles because there's the male. That is cool. Camp here. This is definitely the end of NorCal, by the way. I remember coming by both these lakes and wondering what was down there, but I was so tired I didn't care to stop and look. By the end of the route, I'm usually ready to just get done. Tiny bit of exposure. It's like a rock slide. All right, that's the second time I've stood up. Nice tight little forest road. A lot of water and marshes off to the side up here. I had to imagine it doesn't look like that in the summer, but right now in the spring, a lot of moisture. Tight switchbacks. One of these is like a straight line. We are going up. Look at that on the map. Oh, look at that. Cool. Old cabin. Man, that's neat. Yeah, look at that. Oh, fire pit in there. That seems dangerous given the old dry wood surrounding it. There's obviously another building here. Cool. History. You know you're going up when there's a shit ton of switchbacks and they're super tight. Oh yeah, look at that. That's 180 degree for sure. Look at, dude, you would not want to meet someone coming the other way on this one. Oh, cool. don't know what's going on with the route up here. I'm gonna have to look at it. I don't know if that's NorCal coming in or what. Oh, there's an offshoot. There might be an out and back. Have to zoom out a little and look. Oh, there's definitely an intersection here. So this is NorCal. So if you didn't want to do this section, you could just, if you were on NorCal trying to connect to Oregon, you didn't want to go down, you just turn here and keep going. So we are 7 or 8 miles in. All right, there you go. So I have not, that was parts I've seen. We're on to stuff I have not seen. Right off, we got some rain ruts. It's almost like these roads aren't maintained in the winter. What? I'm curious to see if they come up and grade it between now and when we do this in July. Cool, we're definitely in the high alpine now. Does this thing have an elevation? Yeah, it's almost 8,000 feet. Oh, look at that, another cabin. Damn, dude. I'm sure that is private property. Yeah, it looks like mining stuff up here. That's my guess based on that last sign. Neat, okay. I keep turning the camera off and it's something cool. We're at Dismal Swamp, 12 Mile Creek area. So, let's see if it lives up to its name. Stay on the road, because it's definitely a sensitive area, especially this time of year when it's all marsh with the runoff. Dismal Swamp at 8,000 feet. Well, look at the change in just, like the trees immediately are aspens, right? Like just the second I passed that sign. Well, this road has been seen better days for sure. That's funny. Definite different biome, just like right here in the Dismal Swamp. Wow. Dude, look at this. Way up here, a legit swamp. This is neat. Super cool, dude. Wow, neato. I'm like continually astounded. Look at the cool snow-capped peaks. I gotta get a picture. That is a given. Oh, there's a sign. What does it say? I bet it says Dismal Swamp, stay on the road. Dismal Swamp, erosion control project. Yep, that basically means stay on the road. All right, very cool. I don't even think we're in Oregon yet. I think we're still in California. I know, I don't know. It's Modoc National Forest, one way or the other. Oh, another water crossing. Ah, that looks suspiciously gnarly, actually. I don't like that. It's the kind of thing where I should definitely walk it first. Yep, piece of cake, piece of cake. All right, good news, good news. And imagine that's only gonna get shallower. Probably not even be there in July. Look at the aspens, baby aspens, cool. So DMD2 is cool. It does some stuff that I didn't ask it to do, but it tells you what your next POI is, where the next gas is, and I assume it knows I'm on this route, so it's calculating by the route, because it always tries to drive you back to the route. I haven't asked it to follow the route. I've done nothing. I just got on the route. It's all automatic, but it knows that Lakeview is 28 miles away on this route, so that's really helpful for planning gas stops, particularly on a BDR type trip, and it knew that the next POI before we hit the campground was the campground, so it told me how close that was, and it's just automatically switching. So the screen's really easy to read. I like the map. It seems to have a lot of the more obscure roads on it, and I think DMD2 is open source, so it's like a community developed app. You can pay, there's like a yearly fee or a 6-month fee for like live map updates, I think. I haven't really explored it, but I'm liking it so much I'll probably pay for it and see what that's all about. But it's working great for navigating. Got the elevations, got my compass heading, how far I've gone, my speed, all on, this is the map screen. This isn't the main screen, but I like to keep it on the map screen. Yeah, pretty cool, pretty useful. I could see that being handy. And DMD2 is great because you can run it on your phone, say, so I actually have it on this phone. So for some reason my main navigation crapped out. I could navigate with my phone, sitting here in my quad lock. It is charging on the wireless charger, and it's a great way to make sure that you have secondary navigation when you're in the woods. It's also how I play my music and keep my phone charged when I'm navigating to where I'm going. Not all of my bikes have a fancy tablet like this, so it also works for primary navigation. And the setup is great, quick and easy to use. Yes, this is the quad lock ad portion, which I just transitioned seamlessly into, kind of by accident, to be honest. But the vibration dampener keeps your phone from getting damaged. You see how it just takes all the high frequency vibrations of the off-road riding and just dampens them, makes them less significant, so it's not gyrating your phone all day. Like your phone's not twerking on the bars like it would be if it wasn't on the damper. I've been using quad locks for 9 years now. All my BDRs, every overnight camping adventure and everything in between. I even use them with my phone for navigating when I'm out trail riding, like at an OHV. So quad lock's a great setup. Happy to be working with them. I've got a link I'll put in the description for you. You know, the phone cases are good. Never had my phone damaged. The mounts are great. Everything's works well, and they have this cool configurator tool so you can figure out exactly what you need. So when the package arrives, you've got everything you need to put it right on your bike. So thanks to Quad Lock for sponsoring today's adventure and all of my adventures. On a scale of 1 to 5, if you're asking or wondering about difficulty, this is a 1, and I'll see how long we stay on this. And the road before was probably a 2. So like, I like to think of it in terms of the cars I would take on it. So this is a Prius road, and the one before was a Subaru road. You don't need anything crazier than that. Oh man, gorgeous! Look at that. Look, you can see all the way down to the Dismal Swamp. Look, all that marshy area. Super cool. And we are at 6,000 feet still, headed down to Lakeview, still on the 4-digit road. That's cool. We are 17 miles from Lakeview, so we've done like an 1/8 of the section. Now it's a little too tracky. Great views over here though. This is a great little diversion from the main route. A couple of these really great viewpoints, honestly. Really neat. You'll love to see it. Still a level 1. This is easy. Easy 2-track. It's a nice little secondary road. That's a pretty big slash pile. Like one of those where people come and pull logs out and get them for firewood. I can't imagine they're going to burn that, but they usually burn multiple small piles, not one 200-foot tall pile with trees right nearby. So yeah, I don't know what that's about. Somebody could tell me in the comments. There's a gravel pit though. I know what that's for, so that's good. Gonna head into Lakeview, get some lunch, a little bit of an early lunch, so I can see Lakeview from here. I left Lakeview at 9 o'clock this morning, went to Goose Lake, checked out the campground, and then rode the first part of Section 1, and it is now 11:03. So if you stayed at Goose Lake, you'd be here in an hour and a half-ish, but I'm staying somewhere else, which I'll show you when we get there because it's another great place. It's an RV park with showers and a private lake, so I will show you that when we get there. We gotta let Mackie out. This is the Juniper Reservoir RV Resort. It is a working cattle ranch, and the actual RV park is a little bit off the road, but they have a tent area. They have a private lake you can fish in. I don't know that you'd be here this long if you're doing the BDR, maybe if you came the day before. Showers, decent showers, actual toilets, plumbing. There's barbecues you can use. They have a propane fire pit you can sit around. It's just a cool spot, and it took me half an hour to get from here to the beginning of the route this morning. I had to go through Lakeview, so I got gas in Lakeview, rode down to Goose Lake, rode Section 1, and I'm back at 11:30. And I met the lady that runs the place last night. She was really nice, so I'm recommending it thus far. Let you know if that changes. Scenery is good. Oh, and the other thing that I forgot to mention is this is a dark sky sanctuary, this part of Oregon. Part of it is to help with wildlife, but also just one of the fringe benefits is there is no ambient light out here. So camping in a place like where I'm about to show you, where there's no tree cover, has advantages if you want to see stars like you've never seen before in your entire life. The Afterward is another great place to view that, which is not super far from here, but definitely would add a day or two to your trip if you decided to go there. There's a sage rat, 2 sage rats right there. I just went under the cattle guard. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Loosey-goosey. So this grassy area to the left of the office, this is where the tent's set up. That's the bathrooms. There's a covered picnic area with tables. Barbecues are up for use. There's cute dogs running around. There's a soda machine. It's not a bad spot. Not a bad spot at all. Hey, buddy. Did you have a good trip? Did you have a good nap? He's just sleeping in his box. A little hungry, a little thirsty, but he's golden. So, fast break breakfast burrito. I'm obsessed with breakfast burritos lately. I don't know why. I'm just saying. Lunch stop here at the RV park. About 80 miles to go. So we're about a third of the way through. Oh, and this is literally 2 miles off the route because the route turns off the highway
about 2 miles back that way. So very close to the actual route if you're looking for that kind of thing.
I said I'd show you what I meant about the headlight shroud. So that bolt is missing, and it's missing on the other side, so it does this, which is not ideal, but I can't fix it till I get home. So 78 miles to go and a 120 mile section. I mean, like 128, so I'm a third-ish of the way through. I just can't seem to put my finger on it, why this is Lake County. I don't know. It's escaping me. Maybe somebody could chime in. Can't imagine why they would call it Lake County. It's only the 12th lake I've seen so far. It's Cottonwood Reservoir. By the way, I don't know if I made it clear when I was saying that DMD tells you what's coming up. It tells you what waypoint is next on the track that you're on. It doesn't just like know that you might want to go to Cottonwood Lake. Those are all the BDR waypoints, so it does a great job of turning the GPX track into something really useful. This is an awesome road. I'm really liking it so far. Decent condition, good views, we're going up, fun corners. There's another lake up here in about 6 miles. This reminds me of sections of NorCal for sure. Which makes sense because we're pretty close to NorCal, geographically speaking. See, that right there is why you don't overcommit to corners, because sometimes there's a giant rain rut right there that you didn't see or didn't know was coming. Now we're going up quick. Damn, good views again. Well done. Great road. This green rock is really cool. There's a bunch of it on these hillsides. Neat. So this hill off to the left, there's a road here that branches off. Looks like it goes up to the top of that. So, a fun side jaunt if somebody wanted to take it. I'm going to focus on getting done with this section today, but there it is. Looking at the map, DMD is helpful for that. Definitely see that it goes up and around. So it's worth talking about why we're on a new Oregon BDR Section 1, why there's a new 1, 2, and half of 3, because I've definitely seen some of the comments. There's a lot of just like misinformation out there. And I'm no expert. I do not speak for the BDR. I'm just going off of what I've heard from people who are closer to the BDR than I am. But I didn't like Section 1 because it was 170 miles through the desert with nothing. Like there was no place to get gas, no place to bail out. Like you were at least 50 miles from a major road a lot of the time, and at least 50 miles from any civilization a lot of the time. I didn't like that. It was also kind of hard. So you probably more level 2, level 3 stuff a lot of the time. I understand why it went where it went. At least I think I do, because they wanted to get you to Beatty's Butte, which is an amazing viewpoint. But just considering, even us, like, this is my third BDR when we did it. We started too late in the day. It was 100 degrees out there, and Trav got heat stroke because his GPS kept malfunctioning, and he kept ending up not on the track and having to muscle his bike back onto the track. But the biggest factor in the change, aside from all of that, which I just don't think it's a great, especially because some people go on one big trip a year, and for them to just jump right into that in Section 1, I just don't think it's smart. From a liability perspective, although I think they're pretty good with their disclaimers, but just saying, like, people get out there and get hurt and need to be rescued. Anyway, that's not the point. A big factor in that was a major portion of that section went through the antelope refuge, which they closed the access to it at will, and I don't know how all that works. I know when the fire danger gets to a certain point, they just close access to it. Well, that just happens to be prime BDR season, so when we went, it was closed, so we had to either, we didn't have enough gas to go back the way we had come. At least I didn't, because I only had a 3-gallon tank. So we had to kind of pick our way through and find our way around, and that was a big factor also in us just taking forever to get out of there and being very concerned that we weren't going to be able to. It was kind of a big deal. You can watch the video. Trav made his own video about it if you want to know more about that. But anyway, the point is, a lot of unknowns, a lot of X factors in a section that didn't have a lot of room for error to begin with. Like, if you don't have, it's like, even on this bike where I've got, 240-ish miles of range, that doesn't give me enough to get halfway in and have to turn around. Not on a section that's 170 miles, with nothing. That's the thing. This new one is like 130 miles, sure, but I hit Lakeview 30 miles in. So there are bailout points, there are places to get gas and supplies, and take a break if you need to. So I just think this new section is a massive improvement. I love that part of Oregon. I'm excited that they wanted to showcase it, but sections 1 and 2 were kind of just difficult for the sake of being difficult. Me personally, and again, I don't work for the BDR. I don't know anything about the BDR's philosophy personally, but I think the main route should be pretty easy. Not like yawn, fall asleep, cruise control easy, but like this. Like, this is a great, fun, twisty road through some beautiful terrain. And then if you want to have hard sections, have them be offshoots, either like they have on Section 2 where it's an alternate part of the trail, or just out and backs. So that stuff is there for the people that want it, but your prime customer, there's another lake, for the BDRs, in my experience, and this is, I'm biased because these are the people that I interact with the most, but if there's someone else who interacts with more new adventure riders than I do, I'd love to know who it is, because I'd be shocked. Anyway, they tend to be, I'm going to generalize, stereotype, middle-aged men, let's say 90%. I know there are women, I know there are younger people that do this, but in general, the people I meet are middle-aged men, not always in the best shape, and they're people that get out and do maybe a couple weekend camping trips a year and one big trip a year. They're not people that need to be out doing 200 miles through the desert in 100-degree heat. Anyway, my point is, I think it's a great change. I'm really happy that they saw a need maybe and made a change. I think this is going to be a much more enjoyable route for people. And there's just a lot of potential for disaster out there. Like, if it starts raining on you out there, your bike will get stuck in that alkali soil. You'll never get it out. And you're 70 miles from anything. So here, if it starts raining, we just keep riding or pull off. I just think keeping it in the trees, keeping it out of the desert. I wouldn't mind dipping into the desert for a while, but it wasn't good. So this is a great change, and I'm pretty happy about it. Holy shit, paved road. That's fun. Oh, it's not paved. Oh, it is. Okay. Cottonwoods Organization Camp. So that's, closed road, probably private-ish property. What's this? Cottonwoods Recreation Area. Okay. Campground or no? Probably not. Let's see. Camping, recreational, residential camping prohibited. $6 for a site? Holy shit, camp here. The water is not potable. It says boil it. $6 for a site. I like that. Oh, there's water right there. Again, not potable, but this is cool. Okay. Well, there's a good one. It just depends on when you start your day, but this will be a cool place to camp. This will be a cool place to just come camp, even if you're not doing the route. Oh, I have cell phone service. Holy hell. That surprises me. Yeah, this is neat. All right, good to know. I love these single-lane paved forest roads. I probably ride faster than I should. Try to clear the corners before I commit, but they're so cool. They're always so cool. Always so little traffic. Of course, it's the one, you only need one, so you got to take it easy. Ish. Make sure you can see around the corner before you start leaning in. So awesome. This is a cool shelf road. Neat, dude. Yeah. That's us over there, too. Super cool. Very fun. It just goes along the ridge. I like it. Water crossing. Not an impressive one, but it is. Yeah, those get real slimy, so just don't make any changes to direction or speed. Just coast right through. I pull the clutch in half the time and just let the bike roll. Making great time on the second half. I don't want to jinx myself, but we are almost 2/3 of the way done. Paved road was short-lived. Maybe a mile. Back on the dirt. Another cool meadow, though. It's neat up here. We are at 5,600 feet. I want to stand up for a while. This seat is, even with the seat pad, not awesome. Oh, big stick. It is scenic out here. Damn. Well, the washout is 18 miles from here. Next waypoint. Oh, there's a campsite down there too. No idea how you get on that road. Actually, I do because I can see it on the map. Really cool campsite down there. Oh yeah, neat. Very cool. Look at that, very pretty. Yeah, this would be a welcome sight on a super hot day. Holy hell, what a gorgeous river. Oh, you've got an optional water crossing here. I like that. Until I don't. Oh, shit. That's a lot deeper than I thought. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, I am soaked, bro. That was like feet deep. Oh, that's awesome. I gotta find a place I can put this kickstand down. Oh, yeah, my whole leg is soaked. I am like soaked up to here. Wow. Look, my whole seat is soaked. Look at this. Holy shit. So if I was going to do this again, I would suggest hugging the left side, that's the left as you're coming down from the other side now. Do not go right down the middle. That was dumb. I know better than that. But you see the other side and you ride towards it. Thankfully I didn't stop. That could have been even worse. But now I get to air dry, and it's not very warm despite the sun being out. Pretty cool. Coming along the creek here. 3.5 miles from the ominously named passable washout. At least it's not in quotes. It'd be really funny if passable was in quotes. Now this road has seen better days. That's for sure. Ooh, right into the ruts. Not a bad view off to the left, though. Hot damn, seriously. The views are way better than old Section 1, I'll tell you that much. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh yeah, super passable. That's like not gnarly at all. It's maybe a Subaru Plus. Yeah, you could just blaze right through. I am glad it's marked. I was being mildly facetious because you wouldn't want to come around the corner really fast and hit that. But it's definitely not super crazy hard. So if you were worried, don't be. Another old cabin. I'm assuming ranching out here because that's what they're doing now. Neat to see. Well, there's another obstacle that's marked on the map. It is 1.7 miles from here after passable washout, and it is deep ruts. So I'm gonna throw it out there. I'm gonna guess there might be some ruts. This is a cool part of Oregon that even locals don't really see. I mean the ones that live here, but like I live in Oregon. I've lived in Oregon my whole life. I've never been in the wilderness down here, so pretty happy. Oh, there it is. I knew it was gonna happen eventually. Oh, except for there's already a go-around. There hasn't been a single tree blocking the road yet that I've seen. I did bring my silky saw in case I need it, but somebody's been up here and cleared this, so thanks to whomever did that. Oh, okay, deep ruts, yep. Okay, well this is deep ruts, I'm pretty sure. That was a rut, and it was deep. Okay, yeah. This is just rocky gnarly. Oh, okay, yeah, this appears to be more deep ruts. Ooh. Yep, nothing crazy. I mean, a foot deep maybe. Nothing you couldn't dip in and out of if you had to. My ass end is spinning. There you go. Okay, again, good to have a warning. Do not want to come across that unexpectedly, but by no means insurmountable. I do not like the look of this one. Very muddy. Not going through the middle. We'll go around the outside. Okay, actually, up the middle would have been good. Don't go in the ruts, but we're going to traverse the outside where all the other motorcycle tracks are. Probably should have just ridden it, not stopped, but here we are. Oh, that's deep mud. Holy shit. Yeah, the foot peg was touching the ground for a minute there. Okay, good to know. Never trust a puddle. Shouldn't trust a water crossing either. I learned that one earlier. The views, man. And I knew they were going to be good because this mountain range up here around the rim of Summer Lake and Paisley and all this other places, super high and super majestic looking, but here we are headed down to Paisley. It's definitely scenic, more scenic. Old Section 1 was flat desert with an occasional hill. There was a couple of cool mountain pass parts, but mostly you were just blasting through the desert. The views at the end of this section aren't terrible. What a way to end it. Super cool. You do backtrack this section to get to section 2. So Paisley's the gas stop. You go down, get gas, and come back up. But it looks like it's like 6 miles or so. Yeah, so this is not going to come across well, but way out there, flat, empty, lake bed, dry lake bed. That's Summer Lake. It's where the hot springs are. You can't see it, but there are giant dust devils. Like, they must be 100 feet across for me to be able to see them from this far away. A ton of them. So that's what you'll be able to see. So the section 2 is up on this ridge that goes above Summer Lake. So I'm excited to see it. I left camp at 8:30. I left Goose Lake. No, I left camp at 8:30. I left Lakeview at 9, and I left Goose Lake, so the beginning of section 1, at 9:30. It's 3 o'clock. I did stop for lunch, but I would assume that most people will do that. So it's 6 hours at my pace, roughly, with a lunch stop and gas stop and all of that. That's Lakeview down, so 5.5 if you start at the beginning at my pace. So you could theoretically get into a chunk of section 2. I don't know what that looks like. We'll find out. Let's head into Paisley and get some gas, and then I got to go back to camp and let the dog out. And then, so if you're interested in section 2, if you made it this far, my hope is to go ride it on this trip. So I'll go back to camp, hang out with the dog. We'll relocate tomorrow, and then I'll try to ride section 2 out of the base camp as well, if I have time. So if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing, because I'm the Dork on the road, and I want to be your internet riding buddy, and I'm better than your regular riding buddies because I come with a mute button. Also, we're at 979 miles on the 390, which means by the time I get to camp, we'll be well over 1,000, and by the time I get home, it'll be closer to 1,200, 1,300. So the full 390 adventure review, the one I've been working on for a while, is coming out very soon too, so make sure you subscribe if you're interested in that. And don't forget, we're doing monthly giveaways now, so if you want to win, if this is June, we're giving away an ATV toolkit from Rocky Mountain ATV from Tusk. So if you want to enter to win, there's 2 ways. One, just join the Dork on the Road mailing list. There's a link in the description, and you get 2 emails a month. Really, it's just reminding you about videos that came out in case you missed them. Usually there's like a link to a Moto Camp Nerd video, and then a reminder that the merch store exists. And or you can go to Rocky Mountain ATV, the website. Any purchase you make using my affiliate link, which is also in the description, you don't have to click on a specific link for what you buy. You just have to use my link to get to the site. But every time you make a purchase there this month, which is June, you can be entered to win a Rocky Mountain Tusk toolkit. What's up, buddy? So that gets you extra entries. You're automatically entered every month if you're on the mailing list. All right, we're in Paisley. We made it. Thanks for coming along. I appreciate you, and please do not forget to be excellent to each other. Thank you.
Excellent!